Good morning, it's Trev. Just thought I'd do a quick video on actually what it's like travelling as a disabled person. Normally I am a power chair user, so normally when I go away I would take my power chair. This means that I'm independent and I'm able to get myself through check-ins, etc. My carer doesn't have to worry about me and I can just do my own thing. This time I went away, I decided not to take my power chair because the last time I travelled with it they had to take the whole back off, and it was an absolute nightmare, and I ended up getting off a plane. I sit on an aisle chair, which I'll explain in a minute, and they literally gave me my power chair in two bits with the back off in two bits, and I was sat on another chair and people were trying to get on the plane, and it was just an absolute joke. So I decided this year to take my manual chair. So when I got to the airport, there was actually someone there. We checked in and we had to wait, and then someone actually came, took over my chair. So my carer carried the cases to check in. So someone pushed me across, which was very helpful. And then they actually pushed me to my terminal, so that got us to where we wanted to be, which meant my carer could do his thing and I didn't have to worry about pushing me as well. And then getting on the plane, people seem to think that you actually fly in the wheelchair, which is completely wrong, and I hope at some point that does happen, but not yet. So basically the process it varies, and there doesn't seem to be any consistency. Sometimes you're first on the plane, sometimes you're last on the plane. On this particular occasion, on the way there I was last on the plane, which meant that you're being pushed down the middle of the plane, banging your elbows on everyone, and everyone's in the way, and then you've got the indignity of being lifted out in front of everyone, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. And then on the way back I was actually first on, and they tried to get me near the window, which was just stupid. You're not going to lift me across three places. And then they were saying, oh well, people are going to have to climb over you. Oh, tough, basically. It's easier for them to climb over me than it is to get across to near the window seat. So what I tend to do is I get on what's called an ambulift, and this is like a vehicle that's got a tail lift on it, so you get a chair on the lift and you get in the vehicle, and then they drive you directly up to the plane, and then you're physically lifted from the wheelchair to an aisle chair. And normally this is a two-person job, sometimes three, and it's usually one person under my legs and then one person under my arms, and they just lift you across. I did buy a sling, which I thought would help and make life easier, but it ripped on the first time, so that wasn't good, and nearly ended up on the floor. So they lift me from the wheelchair actually onto an aisle chair, and then they strap you onto that, and these are very thin. I have no balance, so I don't feel safe on them at all. So it's I'm always a little bit on edge. And then they push you down to your actual seat on the chair on the plane, and lift you back out onto your seat. It's pretty much a case of however you get sat, because there's no way of getting comfy again or being pulled back or being adjusted, so you hope that you just get it done in one. And then because I travel in my wheelchair in a vehicle, I always need an adapted vehicle, so you're hoping that they've got a ramp that comes out which gets you into the vehicle. And I found this time in Spain every vehicle I got in actually had clamps, which is fantastic. That meant that the chair is strapped down to the floor and the chair physically isn't going anywhere, which is reassuring because sometimes you're kind of sliding around everywhere. So that's just a little bit about actually some of the things I have to actually go through to get on and off planes, in and out of vehicles, etc. So I hope you find this video of value. Please feel free to like, comment, share and subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day.